Which leads me to the next point, which she needs foreplay. Now you're preaching, brother. And let me say this to you. You know, a lot of guys' way of initiating sex is they'll ask their wife, you want to have sex? And the answer more often than not is no. Why would you ask a question that's most likely to be responded with a no? I never ask my wife if she wants to have sex. Never. I just go for it.
Because I am the initiator. You may not feel like it now, but you will when I'm finished.
Man, if your idea of romance and foreplay is, you want to have sex? There's something wrong with you. Come on, rise up. Take your place. Now check this out, Song of Solomon. I love this. He writes, your stature is like that of the palm tree, and your breasts are like clusters of fruit. I said to myself, I will climb the palm tree. Now take hold of the fruit. Hallelujah! Now the problem here is most guys don't want to take the time to climb the palm tree. They just want to hop in a cherry picker and swing in and grab the coconuts. Hey, baby, come on.
You want to have sex? You awake? Come on.
Stop that. You've got to learn how to climb the palm tree. You got to learn how to touch the girl, how to romance the girl. And you need to be romantic. You got to mix it up. Don't be so puking predictable. A lot of you guys, the minute you touch her, she knows what's coming. Why does she act like that? Because you're so obvious. You're so predictable. Women are not interested in a formula. Men are by nature formulaic.
You do this, you do that, you get that. You do this, you do that, you get that. You do that, you do that.
All right? And she's not, you do that every time with her. She just, get away from me. You need to mix it up. Got to learn how to climb the palm tree. You really want great foreplay? Turn it into a 24-hour deal. I call it slow roasting your woman. Man, it rocks. Don't be in such a hurry. Kiss the girl, leave her alone. Flirt with the girl, leave her alone. Touch the girl, leave her alone. Keep her guessing. What's going on? What is this? My wife will come out of the shower and say, hey, baby, just lay down. I'll give her a back rub and she'll fall asleep. And I'll cover her up and I'll just crawl into bed next to her, turn off the light and go to sleep. So I couldn't do that, Pastor. I'd go blind. You won't go blind. You've got to learn how to climb the palm tree. Take it a time. Don't worry about this desire thing. I'm waiting for her to have all this desire out in front. Stop. You're going to be a very old man before you have sex again. Number 2, she needs privacy. Amen. He writes, let us go early to the vineyards secret place, private place, to see if the vines have budded. If their blossoms have opened, if the pomegranates are in bloom. People sure are into gardening. And there he says, I will give you my love. It's going to be very difficult for a woman to feel very sexual or turned on if she doesn't feel that her lovemaking to you is safe and private. All right? Which means chances are, if you have dinner guests waiting in the next room, she won't be very interested. To a lot of guys, we'd have no problem with that. Make yourselves at home. There's Doritos in the cupboard. We'll be with you in a little bit. About 2 minutes, I'd say. She's not going to be interested in that, you nitwit. That's why for a lot of women, just having children makes it difficult for them to feel very sexual. I call children the anti-sex. Because they're always around, it's always around, and it's hard for them to feel very sexual. You got to work with her on that. And ladies, you know, there's locks on your doors, use them, you know. You can't just neglect the sexual needs of your husband until they're 18. Don't worry, honey, they'll be gone eventually. Everything changes with children. You know, you're not the same anymore. Women, guys have to understand that physically they're different, emotionally they're different. Everything's changed. Those beautiful, seductive breasts are suddenly transformed from erogenous zones into public utilities. And guys, she's being touched all day long. And then you come home. Hey, baby. Touch me and die. You know, you hang a couple of monkeys from your testicles all day long. See how you feel at the end of the day. I'm good. I'm good, thanks. I'm okay, thank you. Thanks for asking. I'm good. Boys, she's not the same, but girls, he is. Ain't nothing happened to him. He's still the same wild man you married. And a lot of couples, they really mess up at this point in their marriages. That's why a lot of marriages only make it to about the 5 to 7 year mark. Just long enough for the rugrats to come in, upset the apple cart, and you fail to make the proper adjustments. And it destroys the relationship. Ladies, you cannot get so engrossed in being mommies that you forget about the sexual needs of your husband. But Johnny needs me. I'll tell you what Johnny needs. He needs a father. And if you keep it up, he's not going to have one. It's not worth it. And girls, you have to be really careful about rejecting your husband sexually. I don't know if you're aware of this, but for most men, as few as 3 or 4 rejections in a row, and he'll begin to shut down sexually. If you have a husband who argues with you about sex, consider yourself blessed by God. Because at least you keep it on the front table. But a lot of guys, they just shut down. I have women in conferences like this who come up to me, tears running down their faces, saying, I did that to my husband, now he won't touch me. It's not worth it. Why do you think all the jokes on TV are about the young, sexually frustrated man, but the older, sexually frustrated woman? Because she comes back to life, see? You're going to come back to where you were, but now he won't care about you anymore. He won't feel safe to be the initiator anymore. And it's going to, you say, well, what do we do? Everything, it rarely ever goes back to the way it was. You might have to turn into the initiator. I mean, it's not worth it. You younger ones, watch yourselves during this time. I understand you're tired. And guys, get a clue. The girl is exhausted. Give her a break. Let her rest. They just did a survey on USA Today this weekend. I don't know if you saw it. But they said, what were men's number one interests? It was sex, food, and sleep. And they surveyed women, and their top 3 interests were sleep, food, and sex. I mean, you're being traded in for a cheeseburger, Jack. You know what I'm saying? Help the girl. Let her rest. Give her a break. You want her to be a lover to you? Let her take a nap. You take the little rugrats for a while. Let them peel your brain apart. All right?
Here we go. The number one key to incredible sex. Exclusivity. I can't spell. Exclusivity. When one man focuses just on one woman. Looking at the Song of Solomon. Now she writes and says, I belong to my lover, and his desire is for me. Something incredible happens when a man focuses on just one woman. Now, this is radical what I'm telling you, because our culture today says the key to great sex is lust. The more you fantasize, the more you check out the hot babes, the more you're looking at pornography on the internet and check, the better your sex life will be. But they are lying to you. Our culture has completely lost its mind in this area. And all the experts talk about, yes, the key to incredible sex is to fantasize and to masturbate. And who is this woman? I can't imagine her having sex. It's just like, Hollywood, the people who can't stay married for more than 3 months at a time, is giving us the perfect scenario for great sex. Lust, fantasy, ooh. But it is a big, fat, stinking, puking lie. It doesn't work. You say, you're just against it because you're a preacher. No. I do not oppose lust on moral grounds. I could preach you to hell and back if you wanted. But I don't have to. It doesn't work. At least if it worked, it would make some degree of sense, but it does not, and no one challenges it today. You ever read that story of the emperor's new clothes? How everybody went around and told the emperor how great he looked, and he's just walking around in his underwear, and everybody, you're great. And some little kid finally says, he's naked. I feel like that little kid. All the experts today, they keep repeating the same lie over and over and over and over again. And everyone just, yes, the emperor's clothes are magnificent. Oh, yes, lust and pornography and masturbation. This is fantastic sex when you do this. But it doesn't work. And the proof is in the pudding. People say, where's your proof? By proof is you guys who do it. Let me ask you guys who sit around in the dark and check out the hot babes on the internet and sit around and yank on your wanger. Come on, you wanger yankers. You know who I'm talking to. Let me ask you a question. How's that working for you? Huh? You got great sex? You know you don't. In fact, the more you do it, the more you indulge in it, the worse your sex life becomes. And the prescription the world gives us is, you just need more porn. You need more porn. But it doesn't help. It keeps making it worse. It is destroying people's lives. In Hollywood, they just don't get it. All these experts. I was watching this one show. You've seen the show Family Feud? This one week they had soap opera stars on. And I'll hand it to these people. They look great, but they were as dumb as a box of rocks. And they asked them this one question and said, 100 people surveyed, what can you do to improve your romantic life? And they come up to the first team and say, okay, I need an answer. And they're, oh, yeah, okay. And they come to the first person, and he says, what's your answer? What can you do to improve your romantic life? He goes, have an affair. And all the other rocks in the box go, good answer, good answer, good answer. Have an affair. How can you be so stupid and still breathe? The way to improve your sex life is to have an affair with somebody else. But that's the culture they live in. The more lust, the more naughty, somehow it improves. It does not improve, it destroys. I know psychiatrists and psychologists who have prescribed to couples in an effort to improve their relationship, have an affair. So ignorant are they that the emperor is walking around naked. Went over to the next, he said, have an affair. The guy looked at him like he was nuts. Okay, have an affair. Went to the next rock. What can you do to improve your romantic life? View pornography together. Good answer, good answer, good answer. View porno. Every answer they came up with was lust-based. 3 strikes. They couldn't get it. Went over to the other box of rocks. Same thing. I'd never seen it before. Neither side could get one answer. Because when they got done, he said, well, let's take a look. And it was like, spend time with each other, have a romantic dinner, take a long walk, bring her flowers, stuff that any moron knows. But these people don't get it. They don't get it. Oh, yeah, that's great. Look, the world's answer to great sex, their formula is number 1, fantasize. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Ignore the real woman in your life and focus on one who would never give you the time of day. Oh, yeah, let's do that. Let's pretend. Let's live in a fantasy world. We are trading in real women for fantasies. How can we be so stupid? And this is becoming a real problem. And you know who's beginning to notice it? A lot of people way off on the liberal left are starting to notice it. They're starting to write about it. They're starting to realize there is a problem. Men are becoming more and more diminished sexually and are becoming unable to perform because they have so overstimulated themselves with pornography. It is destroying them. I've met women who've told me that their husbands prefer pornography and masturbation to actually making love to them. I had a woman in my office, and she's a 20-something-year-old, good-looking woman, like Hoochie Mama, okay?
Well, I didn't think pastors notice that sort of thing.
Hey, I may be sanctified, but I'm not petrified. All right. A good-looking woman is a good-looking woman. And she tells me sitting there, she says, my husband hasn't touched my vagina in over a year. Not interested. I said, you're kidding me. So what does he want? Well, he just wants me to do these weird things to him. All garbage he's gotten his head through looking at porn. Trading in real women for fantasies. What in the world? So many women I've talked to in the last year who says, my husband admits he would rather masturbate than make love to me. fantasize and masturbate. Oh, that's their idea of great sex. And what is it with this masturbating thing? And the passion to which these people rise to defend masturbation as some form of great sex. I don't get it. I'd love to know who the first hillbilly was that went, you know, that kind of looks like a vagina. And this is starting to destroy a lot of men's sex lives. Do not fool yourselves. There is no way in the world you can keep doing that over and over and over again and not retrain your body. Everybody knows this. When it comes to anything physical, athletes know this. They train, they do the same repetitive action over and over again in order to train their bodies so their bodies will respond in a certain way. Athletes do this. Whether it's tennis or football or whatever, they train over and over again so that without thinking about it, their body reacts in a certain way. The military knows that you train young men to react in a certain way. They do the same drills over and over and over and over again. Why? Because you train your body so that without thinking, you act in a certain way. How in the name of God, our culture is teaching our young people from the age of 13 to start masturbating 2, 3, 5, some of them 7 times a day, thinking that it will not retrain them. The truth of the matter is there are a lot of men today who are no longer able to function with a woman. And I hear this all the time in these seminars. Guys who come to me, women who come to me, who tell me their husbands cannot perform. There are a lot of men today who cannot perform with a woman. I had a guy call our office. He says, I can have sex with my wife for hours. Nothing ever happens. Incapable of achieving an orgasm. But he can do it by himself. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, let's get all our kids doing that. Let's get them doing that. He went to the doctor to find out what was wrong with him, and he was diagnosed. This is not a joke, seriously. TMS, the doctor said you have TMS. It's called traumatic masturbatory syndrome. He's actually reconditioned his penis to a certain type of stimulation. It won't respond to a real woman. What are we thinking? And you know what really fries my Puerto Rican pancakes? Is when they say, well, this is how you can achieve orgasm. You masturbate until you achieve orgasm. And they tie the words masturbation and orgasm together. They are crazy. You cannot achieve an orgasm through masturbation. You can ejaculate, you can have something physically happen to you, but it is not an orgasm. An orgasm is when you're making love to a woman and you reach your peak and endorphins are released into your bloodstream and every cell in your body stands up and grabs the hand of the cell next to it and goes, hallelujah! That is an orgasm. Almost universally, people report that when they masturbate, they immediately feel the opposite. Icky, dirty, or guilty. And psychologists have been telling us for decades now, oh, you don't have to feel guilty about masturbating. It's fine. I know Christian pastors who tell their young people, you don't have to feel guilty about masturbating. It's fine. I know psychologists, you don't have to feel guilty. It's fine. I'll tell you what, you can fool your mind, but you will never, ever, ever fool your body. And there are a lot of men today, I believe, who have never achieved an orgasm. They ejaculate, but that's all they do. They've so trained their... You cannot get your body doing this over and over and over again and think you can function normally. All they've trained their bodies to ejaculate, they never really achieve an orgasm. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, let's get all our kids doing that. The misinformation our kids are getting today, a lot of you have gotten it, but dear God, our kids are getting it in spades. The misinformation is going to wreck their sex lives, has the potential to wreck their sex lives for the rest of their lives. And nobody is telling you what I'm telling you right now. Most preachers don't like talking about this stuff. It freaks them out. As you can tell, I have no such problem. And I understand that, but we have got to start talking about this stuff. In the church, we're trying to win an argument where we only let the other side talk. We're trying to win a war where we only let the other side have bullets. And we wonder why 50% of the men in our congregations have sexual addictions. That's the number, 50%. In our congregations, church-going men, sexual addictions. You have to understand something. Pornography will rob you of great sex. See, every man, the reason why it's such a temptation is because we think it's great sex. Oh, we want to check out that babe. Oh, if we get on the line, I'll have greater sex. That's what sucks us in. With the promise of great sex, but it is a lie. I promise you, the more you do it, and you know the ones of you who do it, the more you do it, the opposite happens. They are lying to you. I'm telling you, the lies that this generation has faced and is continuing to face along sexual information, there are so many blatant lies along this line. We have lost our minds in this country. It is destroying people's lives. You know one of the biggest problems we're having today in America? Sexless marriages. Sexless people don't want to have sex. Don't have to have sex. Have sex with themselves. Well, that's great. Yeah. Now let's trade in a real woman for a fantasy one. Remember that little diagram I gave you last night? Got the heart and the smiley face. And that motivates that. When you masturbate, that breaks the system. That would be nice to her. I'd pay attention to her. So self-centered men, lazy, and for a quick release, become lovers to themselves instead of lovers of women. This is sad stuff. Well, what do you tell our teenagers? Tell them to wait. They won't die. No one has ever died from lack of ejaculation. And there's a lot of misinformation about that. People talk about this condition called blue ball. And not to try to gross you out, but that's, well, I have women. Well, what about my son? Won't they get blue ball if they don't mess? No, they won't. That's one of the biggest urban myths that there are. It's the most ridiculous bunch of nonsense. There is a condition like that, but it has nothing to do with ejaculation. Nothing. It has to do with being overstimulated for a long period of time. And the answer is just quit being so stimulated and go back to normal. It is not a chronic condition. You're going to walk around tortured for the rest of your life if you don't masturbate. There's never been a morgue anywhere in the world where on the toad said, cause of death, failure to ejaculate. Biggest bunch of lies. We're not animals. Your kids are not animals. You know what the difference between an animal and a human being is? We can say no. We have control over ourselves.